There is something you are questioning your intuition with, this collective. So today I want to see what it is you are questioning your intuition around and what the truth of the situation is today. Let's just see what this matter is. Okay. We have the Seven of Cups, the Tower, and the Queen of Crystals. So this collective, your dream state might be very active right now. You might be having a lot of confusing dreams about the situation, or you might just be very confused on which path or which option is going to come through for you. I'm seeing these cups today as these different manifestations, these distant potential outcomes, destined outcomes, and you aren't sure which one you're calling in or which one really is destined for you here. I think something that is clouding your intuition is your logic. This is the Queen of Swords in traditional tarot, but the Queen of Crystals has a very logical approach and grounded approach to things, and she looks at things very practically here. And so I feel this collective, maybe your boundaries up are with something, maybe you are trying to take your emotion and your sense of feeling or inner knowing out of it and just focusing on what you can see in front of you here. But this is concerning a situation that has created a lot of upheaval in your life. This could also be, I'm hearing, sometimes the Tower as an interpretation can also be a sudden revelation, something very, very shocking. And so perhaps this collective, you've had an inkling or a revelation about something or someone, and you're really questioning if this is true. Let's get some clarifiers here. Queen of Crystals. Seven of Cups. And the Tower. Okay. What I'm seeing this collective is this is a situation concerning a connection, a relationship in your life with the Three of Cups here. It's maybe feeling wanting some kind of reunion. Maybe there's also some kind of third-party barrier in place here, making you really question this. Perhaps there's a lot of other opinions about this situation as well. Perhaps there's a lot of external beliefs or opinions, or maybe even just what society would say is or is not acceptable here. But it's really making you question. I think something you try to stay very logical about is if this is something that is truly stable, that can truly ground, that truly is going to be able to manifest itself in the 3D in a way that is dependable, in a way that will really open that door to a new opportunity. But I think you also recognize if it isn't stable, if it isn't grounded, whatever, regardless of what you feel, regardless of what your intuition says, I feel this collective, you almost want tangible proof of this in the 3D before you really take a leap of faith here, or before you really lean into what it is you're feeling. I think you're almost waiting for that star, that pentacle, to be granted from the heavens as a sign. Maybe you've been asking for a lot of signs about this. With the Tower, the sudden revelation you had, I feel one of the reasons you're at war with yourself over it is because of the disappointment of the situation. Either this was a missed opportunity, some realizations came too late as to what this really was. Maybe you didn't understand the power of it or the purpose of it in the moment it was available to you. But I'm also seeing perhaps you are feeling very low in your own energy, very depressed, very weary of the situation, having almost not wanting to believe it because of how much effort and work this would require. The situation clearly has a lot of barriers and isn't something that would be easy to ground, is what I'm seeing. You're really burdened by this, though. You're burdened by what you're feeling. I think part of the reason for this burden is you do feel like this is something that was divinely placed in your life. This feels something the wheel has brought forward. It felt fated to you, but there are things about it that either really trigger old pains, karmic patterns, or you're really just fixated trying to understand this. Maybe you try to go over the reasons why this might not be a healthy thing to want, why this might not be a healthy dynamic, why this might really bring up your own inner trauma and wounding I'm seeing. But I'm also seeing there could just be a real fixation trying to understand and trying to make sense of it. It's something you feel so deeply with this King of Cups here, so intuitively. It's like a storm of emotion in you. It stirs up quite a bit. And yet what you tangibly see, it doesn't make sense how this could be what you're feeling. And so I'm just seeing a lot of fixation on trying to understand, trying to break free from that 3D outlook that is in front of you, that you are familiar with. Maybe your beliefs about yourself, your own abilities, your own gifts are really coming into question here. It's almost as if you're feeling drawn to this situation. You're being pulled, divinely pulled so strongly, and you're trying to make sense of it. You're trying to understand why or what this is, when in reality what you're actually being pulled to isn't an understanding or a sudden revelation or a tangible proof. It's to a remembering. What I'm feeling is that the reality of this situation, what you know to be true, is within you, but your mind won't leave you alone. What you see in the 3D, you can't get out of the questioning of it. Maybe there's some insecurity here as well. I don't know if there's worthy issues or just self-belief issues, or again, just some of your own past wounding that is really being triggered by this situation. Maybe you've tried labeling this as toxic, like I said before. But I'm just seeing this isn't here to... It's not here just to make you crazy. This is trying to spark a remembrance of something in you. More. The Star. So the purpose of this is to force you to go within, to have inner healing. If it is bringing up a lot of these triggers, a lot of this self-doubt, what Spirit is wanting is for you to go within, to find balance, moderation, harmony with this energy, to trust and above in your spirit team and your angels here, to tap into that feeling of renewal, but to believe in your own light, to believe in your own magic fairy dust, your own stardust within, your own shine. You are a being from the heavens. That's where your soul is born from, and this divinity, this knowing is within you. It's to get you to realize that you really are not separate from what's happening around you. The power of your intuition, all it is it's just tapping into the energy of the world at large. All that is, because you're not separate from it, and that's the energy of the Flower of Life card. The Flower of Life really speaks to that power of creation and the interconnectedness of all things, and the infinite potential of what the collective energy of all that is, all that has prana, all that has God source energy, that breath of life within it, what it can collectively create together. And you are not separate from it at all. That separation of what you feel and what you see is completely an illusion. Maybe, just maybe, you're tapped into something that while it's been spiritually created, it hasn't been physically created yet. I don't know if this collective, you have ever read the Bible or were ever raised in a more Christian household. I know I was raised in a Christian household, and I remember very specifically in the Bible it spoke about how things were created spiritually before they created physically. And truly, when I think of things in a spiritual nature, it's energy, it's our thought, it's our intention, it's our emotion, it's our will, it's our strength of willpower. And those thoughts become things, because they shape how we are, they shape how we behave, they shape how we engage with the world around us. Anything that was ever created was first a concept, right? And I'm just seeing that maybe what you are tapping into is that infinite creative potential, all these potential different timelines and outcomes, the potential energy of creation of what may be, what's been spiritually created and conceived of, but it hasn't been brought physically to manifest yet because the certain aligned actions and timing has not fallen into place for it yet. We have to be aligned to the right things for those things to come into our life. It's all about our energetic alignment. You need to give yourself more credit, this collective. I actually feel you're very powerfully tapped in. And you might not even realize it. You might say something to somebody in jest. You might joke about, oh, maybe you'll take a vacation here next year, and that person does, right? Or you'll joke about somebody getting pregnant and you hear within the next 6 months they are, right? I don't think you recognize how tapped into the potentials you are, to the connectedness around you. And if we are connected, that means what we create within this web of creative potential, based on what we think, how we feel, our energy, our thoughts, intentions, that's what we can bring in physically to the reality. So this Ace of Pentacles you're waiting on, this Ace of Stars from the divine, you're the person who's going to grant it to yourself, but it's up to you what you want to create based on your thoughts, feelings, and intentions. I hope that made sense. We have the Moon. This is about really being stuck in illusion, things not revealed, things that are hidden from us. But it's also about intuition. And I'm just seeing, even though it's not very lit, she's still walking this path. She's still going through this gateway into the unknown. And I think that's what you're being asked to do, this collective. Let's go into the unknown. And if you want to cultivate, if you want to trust in a skill you have, you need to cultivate it. That's the Page of Stars energy. It's all about cultivation, creating, working, dedicating to something. So practice intuitive tests. Practice figuring out how intuition shows up for you in your own body. Some people really feel it in their body. Some people feel it as a tingly sensation. Some people feel it in their stomach. Some people get images. I'm much more visual. I have less mind-body connection, and I'm a much more visual person. So I might see things about somebody, right? Images of their life past or where they grew up or certain things that way. Learn how your intuition speaks to you and practice with it, experiment with it, and you will start noticing you get nudges. You have a feeling someone's going to call, they do. You think of a song, it comes on the radio station. You will start noticing you're getting inklings about things before they come in. And you'll know that's when your intuition's really on point. And getting familiar with that state is really going to help you. Some of the biggest blockers of our intuition are our subconscious programming. It's the programming we had from the time we were 0 to 8 years old, when the subconscious mind was fully created and in control. And this was before your conscious mind, your critical thinking mind, was developed. It didn't develop till around 8. And unfortunately, the subconscious mind doesn't have critical thinking, so it just believes everything it's told, right? The believability children have of things before they reach a certain age. That is the subconscious mind. And so whatever you learned in that time of your life, that's what you believe to be true. Now, the brain and the subconscious mind, they cling to what is familiar. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It doesn't discriminate. It's just what is known that is safe. And so another thing we can do to program our subconscious mind is when we have similar thought patterns, experiences, things we were taught and raised culturally or by the world at large, that becomes our known. That's what we cling to. So whatever the situation is, maybe you're looking at the barriers. Oh no, there's third party here. Oh no, there's no tangible. Oh no, there's all these barriers in the way of why this wouldn't make sense. Where the 3D world would say, yeah, no, you're crazy. You have no tangible proof of this, right? And that sounds familiar and it's known to you, and that's what your subconscious mind is going to keep trying to default to. It's what it's going to keep trying to pull you towards, as this is the reality. You have to make a new known in your subconscious mind, something that is a new familiar thought pattern, a new familiar energy. So practicing with your intuition, learning to trust it, learning to lean into that, and giving your brain evidence and proof and opportunities where your intuition was proven right. We'll start building evidence towards a new known that maybe just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not real. Becomes more and more comfortable, more and more possible, and you're going to have less subconscious resistance to what your intuition is saying. And it's hard. I'm not a master at this myself either. I struggle with my own overthinking mind and questioning my own intuition. We all do it. But you're tapped into something beautiful here, collective. You're tapped into a remembering something that is part of a very deep soul contract, something that's being divinely activated to awaken your inner light, your own inner power. It's going to create inner healing and inner balance for you. You're going to remember yourself. You're going to remember your power again. It's going to change the way you're able to show up in the world. What's around the corner for this collective in this situation? Get going, urgent. Some kind of fast movement here. Determination, taking a risk might be needed. Something is anchoring, something that is stable, long-lasting, persistent, dedicated. The wheel, again, you have so much divine activation around you from up above. The universe getting what you deserve, destiny, synchronicity, fate, karma, cycles. Over the overthinking mind. This is what you question. This is what puts you in fatigue, stress, decay, worry, trying to make sense of it, trying to control it, trying to explain it away. This could be about meeting someone. This could be about a community coming in, something you have to do publicly, a date night perhaps, someone wanting to meet and chat. But certainly someone's coming. There's some kind of transition, alert, arrival, a return, a connection, a choice to be made here. There's a new door opening, having to do with a connection, whether you are going to reach out to someone, someone's going to reach out to you. I'm just going to get a few more. No, confirmation. A conversation is needed here. This is the card of a messenger, movement, green light, full speed ahead, news traveling. And this is all about communication, making contact, maybe nervous to make contact. There's a feminine energy here. This could be you, someone wanting to make contact with you, or this could be someone you are wanting to make contact with, but you question. You question if this is going to be received, if the barriers are too much in the way. That third party confirmation, there's also male energy involved here. This could be you, someone else. What you don't see is this is going to create a new beginning and a new perspective here. When this comes through, either sit in stillness and trust it will, or if your intuition is prompting you to take the leap and reach out, it's going to create a new beginning either way. Solutions, insight, and clarity. Clarity is going to come, solutions to this situation, to the barriers here. This is going to lead to a very vulnerable, beautiful, transparent conversation, connection, forgiveness, openness, vulnerability. The person this is talking about, this connection, it's going to create a receptivity here. that you're not seeing, a new beginning you're not seeing, solutions and clarity you're not seeing. You feel it, you feel the ignition, but you question. You question. And if you are still questioning your own intuition, you can always also ask your spirit team for a sign. I do that often as well. You can designate a specific sign and ask to see a certain sign if you want confirmation on something, right? Whether it's a double rainbow, maybe it's a crow, minor crows. It can be a golden egg. It can be a knight in shining armor, whatever you want it to be. It'll show up for you. Give it, 24, 48 hours. It'll come. But again, you have to trust the sign. You have to trust the intuition. If you, again, overthinking mind, you just say it's coincidence. It won't help you. It's a big lesson on trusting your own light and power. There's a lot of fear around this. Ask yourself why you're afraid for this to be true or for this to be false. Why there's so much attachment to the outcome here. Maybe being wrong, maybe being crazy. And what we're creating with our thoughts in mind. You reap what you sow. There's a choice to be made here, collective. It's part of your karmic contract. But this is what I was seeing with that star and that temperance. This is to restore your broken self, calling you home and making you whole, making you reconnect with your inner power, your wisdom, your channel to the divine. It isn't outside of you, it's within you. You are the temple, you are the place the holiness sits, where that God source energy can channel within and you can receive your own beautiful messages and downloads. The temple of God was always within you. It was never somewhere external. One more advice card for you, collective. We'll close this out. Harmonize the energy. When you seek to balance and align your inner energies, you create a pathway for emotional healing by releasing stagnation and tension. Maybe this has felt very stagnating, very tense, the situation you're questioning here. You have to find the harmony between a non-attachment to what you see externally. That comes with trust, that comes with knowing, and with believing in what you feel, believing in your team, believing in what you see with your activated sight, not your 3D eyes. If you can hold the tension between what you know within versus what you might see that's different on the external, not in a delusional way, in a way that's grounded, that honors yourself, that holds boundaries, and that has non-attachment, because you know if it's destined, it will be, right? If you can harmonize that energy, you can move mountains. I hope this energy read was helpful for you today, collective, and I hope you have a beautiful day.